What's up, fuckers, and welcome back to another rebuild challenge here on NBA 2K22 Next Gen. In today's video, we're going to be doing the 25 and under challenge. Basically, the way this one goes is relatively simple. Every single player on this roster, in the rotation really, has to be 25 years old or younger, with the goal obviously be winning a championship. We're going to go ahead and let the CPU draft the entire team for me. I think it does kind of add an element, makes it a little bit more challenging because, again, this isn't the most challenging rebuild we've ever done. It's not the easiest, but it's not the hardest. We let the CPU go ahead and draft the whole team. Definitely makes it a little bit harder. And of course, if you guys have not yet, the road to 40K is officially here. So if you'd like to subscribe and join the community, we'd love to have you before 2K23 does drop. On top of that, we only have so many videos left here in 2K22, so let me know what you guys want to see before we do hop into another year of rebuilds. Other than that, man, I'm down for whatever. Let me know whatever you guys want to see. I mean, we probably only have 10 maybe rebuilds left, so I'm excited to do them though. Let me know down below in the comment section. Without further ado, man, let's choose our team. Hop into this. We will go ahead and randomly select a team and then go ahead and allow the CPU to draft that entire team for me. I think, obviously, we're hoping for the CPU draft me young players that are really good. It obviously makes this challenge a little bit easier. Let's see what they do for us, though. We'll stop here in 3, 2, 1, and we end up here with the Los Angeles Lakers. We'll use them. Let's see what pick they have. I'll see you guys with this team. There's some days that 2K does a really good job at drafting for me, and they draft me a lot of young players. Unfortunately, today is not one of those days. As you can see, our best two players are 36 and 27. Now, I'm not sitting here and expecting 2K to get me a bunch of 21-year-olds. That would be extremely unrealistic. You know, there's just really not much here for me to work with. I mean, we're going to have to make a lot of trades before we do start simming the first season. And yeah, it's definitely going to take a lot of work. Also, on top of that, I don't know if I mentioned this, it's only the 9 or 10 guys I have in the rotation. I'm not really worried about if my 11th or 12th man off the bench is any age. It really doesn't matter. He's not even playing. So, yeah, let's go ahead and start firing off some trades. We are going to be sending the New Orleans Pelicans Chris Paul in an unprotected first in 2026 for Darius Garland. 21 years old, still on his rookie deal. As I'm sure a lot of you guys know, progresses super well. He can be here the entire video, which is obviously really cool. This is only a 3-year rebuild. So that's super exciting, and I'm really happy. He was actually a guy I was kind of hoping we had the possibility to get. We get him with our first trade. That's a really good start. We're going to be getting here one season of Bam Adebayo, most likely one season. The guy obviously can't turn, 26 in the middle of a season, and if he's going to, I have to trade him prior to the season. So Bam's 24 right now. Will obviously be 25 by this point next season. We're going to send Siakam, Norman Powell for Bam and Marcus Morris Sr. Not a bad trade. I think there's definitely going to be some trades that I do kind of get ripped off, just strictly age-based. So that's a pretty good one. Him and Garland obviously are two best players in this team now. And yeah, we definitely still have a lot of moves to make if we look at this roster. We just made another trade. It's right here, and this is it. It's Lonzo and a first for Horford and LaMarcus Aldridge. I'm dumb, and I forgot to hit record. I'd been looking for a trade for so long that I stopped recording and forgot to hit record again before I made the trade. So Lonzo's here now. We have him in a lottery protected first. I'm just going to play him and Garland in the backcourt together. Lonzo has an A three-pointer. Obviously, he's a really good playmaker. Darius Garland's only 6'1". Lonzo's 6'6". I'm going to play him at the shooting guard spot. Hopefully can kind of work out here for us a little bit. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I just need to get somebody for, Horford and Aldridge, and this is what it kind of came down to for now, and he's obviously still pretty young at the age of 23. So we are still in the market for a power forward. Definitely something we need, so let's go find that trade. I think Wendell Carter Jr. would be a really good option for us at the power forward spot. He's only 22 years old on a relatively cheap long-term deal and could be here the entire video. We're going to offer the McConnell Neto in an unprotected first in 2023. In order to get Wendell Carter Jr., I do not know if they'll take that. They do not. How about I just throw in a couple second-round picks and we kind of call it a day? And wow, that's absolutely beautiful. So our starting five is officially figured out. It's Garland, it's Lonzo, it's OG Anunoby, Wendell Carter Jr., and Bam Adebayo. That is obviously not all the work we have to do. We still have to finalize at least 4 guys coming off the bench. So we're definitely not done making trades, but it's a really good start. We're going to be making this deal here with the Utah Jazz, sending the Marcus Morris and Andre Iguodala for Chris Duarte and Eric Gordon. Duarte is obviously the one that's going to be in the rotation for at least one season. I mean, it's only in his second season technically, and he's 24 years old. Actually, it's technically his first season here for us because we don't have the 2022 rookies. So, yeah, obviously one of the older rookies that is possible to get. He's going to be in here. He's going to be my backup small forward. So we now have, 7 guys figured out. We have 1 here with Garland, 2 and 3 with Lonzo and Herbert Jones, OG Anunoby, Chris Duarte. So, all right, yeah, we have 7 guys so far in this rotation. We definitely do have to find some backup big men. Jay Crowder and Birch are going to the Cavs for Zach Collins and Dean Wade. These are technically both players that are under 25 years old or 25 or under. I'd like to maybe get a little bit of a better backup power forward than Dean Wade. I don't mean any disrespect. I'm just trying to be honest with you guys here. Collins is 23, so he could definitely be here for a couple years. Not a bad backup center option. We now are hopefully going to find a little bit of an upgrade at the backup power forward spot. I might throw in Eric Gordon. If not, I'll just trade him either for a pick or he'll just ride the bench, not even be in the rotation. But let's just look at some options. I'll do that here with you guys. We'll look at Eric Gordon. I'll throw up Dean Wade. Yeah, we'll do Gordon and Wade. I didn't even realize we had like Gary Harris on this team. Jalen McDaniels is not a bad option. He's only 23 years old. I think there's definitely potential for room for him to continue to improve. Does have a year of team control as well. I'm actually definitely kind of leaning towards that deal right now. Honestly, when I scroll through right here, the only thing I'm actually kind of looking at is age. And, you know, if I see somebody who fits our threshold, then I kind of look to see who it is. Taylor Horton-Tucker could be an option. Maybe Derek Jones Jr. as well, but yeah. I'm going to take Jalen McDaniels and Brandon Goodwin. Obviously, McDaniels is going to be the one who's in the rotation here. So it's going to be a 9-man rotation with Garland, Ball, Jones, Anunoby, Duarte, Wendell Carter Jr., McDaniels, and Collins and Adebayo. So we have our guys in our starting rotation. Only thing I might try to do now is maybe get a pick for some of these guys who really can't play. But if I can't find anything, they obviously won't be that big of a deal. We'll just move on and see what we can do with this team. But yeah, this honestly was not a lot harder, but it was definitely harder than I was kind of hoping it would be. What is Nick Richards' contract, actually? He actually has a year of control. I'm actually going to pick him up, and then maybe he can potentially be our backup center, or maybe could be a trade piece at some point in time. Brandon Goodwin, making cheap money. Hopefully can maybe get me some sort of draft pick. He's only 26 years old. Kind of just misses that threshold where we kind of have to cut it off, but not really seeing many picks, unfortunately. So, here's one from the Houston Rockets. I will 100% take that, and then obviously the big deal here with Gary Harris making a lot of money. Probably not going to be as easy, but, you know, if there's anything with a pick in it, I'll probably end up doing it. Chris Clemens, he's only 23. All right, you know, let's just pick up Chris Clemens. We don't obviously really get much with it, but wait, is he actually? No. I want somebody like on a multi-year deal who's younger, or a pick, or it's just really not worth it for me. Like, does Clemens have another year of team? No, he doesn't. All right, Gary Harris will just ride the bench. I'm going to set the rotation. The first season here in LA is officially ready to go. We've done a lot of the legwork, obviously, setting ourselves up for success, hopefully in the long run. This team is obviously very young. A lot of these guys are still on pretty cheap contracts. I think that's definitely a bonus. Not that there's really, like, this isn't going to be one of those videos where I'm probably able to sign a ton of free agents, just because a lot of the free agents that are younger, or 25 or younger, are restricted free agents, and the teams will most likely match them. Maybe we can find a guy that doesn't get matched eventually, but as of now, this is how our core is going to look. We'll definitely make some trades in the offseason, but it's a very good one. It's Darius Garland, Alonzo Ball, OG Anunoby, Wendell Carter Jr., and Bam Adebayo. We'll just confirm real quickly they are all 25 years old or younger, which they are. The bench unit is going to be Herbert Jones, Chris Duarte, Zach Collins, and Jalen McDaniels. It's not necessarily the best bench in the world. It's not a bad one, definitely not a horrible place for us to start. So, we are all set here for the first season. Sorry for a very long first season. Obviously, that comes with making trades. I think this team can definitely be competitive. I'll see you guys at the end of year one. We wrap up year one as the 2 seed here in the Western Conference. We're number 6 in the power rankings. Luka MVP, unfortunately, we're going to have to override that. Wow, Shea led the league in scoring because it wasn't a triple-double. We are going to give, let's spice it up. Let's give it to somebody who never wins. We're going to give it to Donovan Mitchell here. Who's he with? Is he with the Jazz still? No, he's with the Warriors, right? Yeah, I thought I saw that right. Donovan Mitchell, MVP award. Cade Cunningham, Rookie of the Year. Kemba Walker, 6th Man of the Year. Giannis wins Depoy. Tyrese Maxey, Most Improved. Jason Kidd is your Coach of the Year over there in Dallas. So, we are the 2 seed at 50-32. Not too bad. Dallas appears to be pretty good. Let's check out their squad. Oh, well, yeah. That'll probably do it for you, having Luka Doncic in a fantasy draft. Oops, excuse me, wrong button. Wait, what? No, I'm in the wrong place right now. I meant to look at this. Having Luka in a fantasy draft rebuild typically tends to work out pretty well. Darius Garland, Bam Adebayo, Alonzo Ball, OG Anunoby, Wendell Carter Jr., all 14 points per game or more. Very good for us. Chris Duarte off the bench with their 6th man. Solid season. And I'm pretty happy with this team. I think we're in a good spot right now. Are we good enough to win it all, though? Let's sim the plan. We got the San Antonio Spurs. I can't see anything, sorry, because I'm getting blasted by yellow right now. I mean, it's just ridiculous how bright they make this when you're using a team like the Lakers or the Pacers with just yellow as a primary color. It's just so bright. It's impossible to see. They have Zion, which is obviously not a fun way for me to start off the playoffs here. He's basically one of the demigods. I've seen a lot of you guys actually comment, do a challenge with the 3 2K demigods of Luka, of Zion Williamson, and of LaMelo Ball. I think it would be kind of fun. Let me know what kind of challenges you guys want to see, because I've seen 2 different approaches. One saying put them all on the same team and then rebuild a team in that conference and see if you can kind of beat them, win a championship. And the other of saying put them all on the same team when you're controlling it and seeing how many championships you can kind of win. I'd be fine with either of those. I might even do both of those at some point in time. I think they'd both be really fun. It's Steph Curry and the Sacramento Kings here in round 2 for us. They are a 6 seed. I would say we're definitely the better team. They definitely have the best player, but we're probably a better overall team. We are up 3-0, and then it is immediately 3-2. I would rather not blow this here, and we do not, as we are on to the Western Conference Finals. I obviously showed you the Dallas Mavericks, and yeah, they are obviously very good. Second straight series where they definitely have the best player. We are down 3-0, and we get swept by Luka and the Mavericks. So, unfortunately, we were not a holy shit. This man took it personal. I took his MVP award from him. I wish we had like the second overall pick or first. Whatever he ends up going, typically, it would have just been awesome to kind of have him, because it would have given us a series advantage throughout this rebuild. We're not going to have any draft picks in this lottery. Obviously, I turned off previously traded picks, so every team should have their first. Yeah, we're picking at number 28. So we'll definitely get somebody, because at the worst, he can contribute off the bench. I do not think Frank Vogel is a good head coach. He obviously got fired by the the Lakers in real life. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to see if Greg Popovich wants to come here. Popovich. We have $10 million to play with. We're the Lakers. Come on, Pop. You want to come here? Greg Popovich joining the Los Angeles Lakers. This man is getting paid a lot of money to be our head coach, but I'm happy to have him here. Obviously one of, if not the best coaches in NBA history. So, 28th overall pick. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to draft somebody. Or do I maybe move up and try to get somebody who could obviously be here for the remainder of this video? I think there's 2 really possible good options for us, either with a bench piece or a trade. And I'm not sure what I want to do yet. You know, I look at teams that maybe have high picks. Like if I go out and get a trade with the Cavs. Obviously, this is the 2022 draft class. So, I mean, guys like Ben Carroll are here, Jabari Smith Jr., Chet Holmgren, all here, all options for us. I'm thinking I maybe go out and draft one of those guys. Just because the way I kind of look at this team, Wendell Carter Jr. can obviously be here for the remainder of the video, only 22 years old, maybe 23 now. Bam kind of has to go now. So if I go get one of those guys, I can move Wendell Carter Jr. to the center spot if it's Jabari Smith Jr. or Paolo Banchero, or I could just keep him and let Chet Holmgren ride out the center spot. So I'm actually, who was the 3rd overall pick? It's the Miami Heat. What's their team looking like? Yeah, they got a lot of big contracts. They probably can't take on a ton of money, unfortunately. I'm not going to give you OG. Like, I'd probably have to give up Bam Adebayo. And honestly, I'd probably do that for the 1st overall pick, just because it's going to be somebody that can be here the entire video. Not a trade I'd make if this wasn't a challenge like this, but it's one that we probably do have to make today, unfortunately. They can't do it. The Phoenix Suns don't have holy shit. Yeah, you definitely don't have cap space. All right, it means we're going to have to find a pick with kind of unconventional methods. So I still want a top 3 pick. It was the Heat who have number 3. Bams obviously cannot be in the trade. You can't even afford OG Anunoby to be in there. How about if I give you like Chris Duarte, who's now 25 years old, and I'll also maybe throw in like Zach Collins. Oh, wait, he's a free agent. I'm not going to give up Herbert Jones. I'd rather keep him. Whew. It kind of sucks because, like, I don't think Wendell Carter Jr. can. Yeah, no. Can I do him just straight up? Nope. Shit. We're going to probably have to give up a lot of picks here. So I'm definitely going to obviously keep Duarte in this deal. I'll give you 28 as well. Didn't think that would go through. And yeah, I'm kind of running out of picks that I have available. So I'll give you one more first. I'm not going to do any more than that. Oh, excuse me. I'll give you these 2 seconds as well. Do they want to do this? They do not. So we're going to probably have to trade for something a little bit lower and then hope we can still get a player of significant value that is outside, obviously, the top 3. How about I do 4? This is the number 4 overall pick, whatever team that is. Sorry, this is probably taking forever. Some of you guys like seeing this shit. I know some of you guys are just like, fucking get on with it. This team probably also doesn't have any money, which is kind of unfortunate. Like, Bam. Oh. So I could give up Bam. Shit. I could also give up OG Anunoby, who's now 25 years old. I think that's definitely something I'd be more willing to do. I'll do him and Chris Duarte for that number 4 overall draft pick. I will also throw you the 28th overall pick, and I do agree to that. All right. It sucks because we might lose out on somebody in the big 3. I could also maybe make a trade. And, oh, wow. Okay, so we still have guys like Chet Holmgren and Jabari Smith Jr. here. I'm thinking Chet Holmgren just because he's more of a pure center, obviously 7'2", does progress really well, which means Bam's now obviously gone. We're going to have to try to get a new small forward for Bam. But Chet Holmgren, only 20 years old. Jabari Smith's only 19, but it won't matter in the long run of a 3-year rebuild. So Chet Holmgren is officially here. Obviously going to be hopefully our center for the remainder of the video. Collins come back, McDaniels come back, Richards can all come back as well. And we definitely need to make a trade. It sucks to say involving Bam Adebayo now for a starting small forward. If we look at free agency here, younger guys like DeAndre Ayton, restricted obviously. Miles Bridges, who, I wouldn't sign in a million years. But obviously these guys are restricted, and we need a small forward. So let's find that trade. We're going to make this trade here with the Orlando Magic, sending them Bam, a first-round pick from the Rockets, top 5 protected in 2023, for Jaren Jackson Jr. and Aaron Nesmith. Jackson Jr., obviously only 22 years old. You might be saying you were looking for a small forward. Why did you just trade for a power forward? And it's because Wendell Carter Jr.'s contract is making obviously a little bit less money than some of these other guys. May be able to match up a little bit easier with some of the younger guys who still may be on rookie deals at the small forward spot. Just my thinking, my kind of thought process there. And obviously Jaren Jackson Jr. is significant. I don't want to say significantly. He's definitely significantly better than Wendell Carter Jr. So Wendell Carter Jr. is obviously gone now. It sucks because he's on a really good deal, and it would have been fun to have him here the whole time. But we need a small forward, and I just cannot find a way to get him in that starting 5 at the small forward spot or anybody else along those lines. So if I don't see anything in the trade finder here for a small forward who's obviously young enough and kind of good enough, in my opinion, kind of fit what we're looking for, I'm probably just going to have to cut out and find a trade manually, which is looking like most likely what is going to happen here. So, yeah, I'm not really seeing anything too solid right here. Let's find a trade. We're making a trade with the Golden State Warriors. We're acquiring 24-year-old Michael Porter Jr. and Kemba Walker for Wendell Carter Jr., Nick Richards, and a top 3 protected first-round pick in 2024. Now, this wasn't the trade I wanted to do. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I tried to make a whole bunch of moves, threw in a whole bunch of different things, and tried to get RJ Barrett, who's 22 years old. He was an 88 overall. Would have been awesome to have. Unfortunately, we just didn't have the assets. So Michael Porter Jr., who's 24 years old, makes me a little bit nervous, but he obviously will be here for at least a season. I'm assuming that he's probably going to be here for only one season, which is unfortunate. But, yeah. Trade is made. Kemba obviously has to go. Other than that, I hate to say it, Nesmith honestly might still be on this team. He just might be like one of the only options we really have. In terms of guys we can kind of sign who kind of fit the age threshold for us, I mean, there's really not any options here. When I'm just straight up looking at the small forwards, like, do I want Justin James? No, I'm good. So, yeah, Aaron Nesmith, Celtics legend's going to be playing. Kemba, I'll just take a pick for you. Obviously, really don't need him on this team. He maybe could just ride the... Ooh, KPJ. Yeah. I cannot believe that's a trade offer. Kevin Porter Jr., welcome to the team. All right, which now kind of leaves me thinking, what do I kind of want to do? In terms of, I want to maybe go, I think I actually might go 10-man rotation. I think that's how it's going to work. I'll see you guys at the start of year 2. We made a decent amount of moves this past offseason. I think they're hopefully all going to benefit us. I definitely like the look of this team a lot more. I think it's a better squad. And I'm excited to see how things do play out here in the second season. It's Darius Garland, Lonzo Ball, Michael Porter Jr., Jaren Jackson Jr., and Chet Holmgren. As you can see, the entire starting 5 is 25 or younger. They're all actually 24 or younger. And the bench unit. I cannot believe that we got Kevin Porter Jr. straight up for Kemba Walker. I cannot honestly believe that, but we did. He's going to be our 6th man backing up Garland, followed by Herbert Jones, Zach Collins, Jalen McDaniels, and Aaron Nesmith. I will also just show you. The bench is all 25 or younger. Again, it's very similar to all 24 or younger, actually. But, yeah, first-year head coach. We got a very old head coach for a very young team here with Greg Popovich. He's obviously a legend. Hopefully he can... I can't fucking speak. Can coach these guys to a championship. I will see you guys at the end of year 2. And it was a very successful second season for us, at least regular season-wise. The playoffs and Luka Doncic, who we lost to last year, are still going to be in our way. He wins a second MVP award, technically. Again, we're going to have to change that. Holy fucking Zion. I mean, it's just ridiculous. I'm going to give it to my boy JT here. Yeah, he definitely earned that. Chet Holmgren wins Rookie of the Year for us. 15 points, 9.5 boards, 4.5 assists, half a steal, almost 2 blocks a game for our 7-foot young stud. I'm excited to have him here. It sucks. I'm so mad he's out in real life and got injured. Really does suck. Mo Wagner, most improved. 66 and 16. Oh, wow. Looks like Greg Popovich doing wonders to this team. I mean, don't get me wrong. This is a very talented team, but 66 wins could be a stretch, but I will take it. Garland, Jackson Jr., Michael Porter Jr., Lonzo Ball. Obviously, we're going to have to probably trade Lonzo and probably who else here? There's somebody else that's a little bit older. Oh, it's some of the bench pieces like McDaniels and Collins and yeah, that sucks. It really does suck. Rebounds was Chet Holmgren, and assists was Lonzo Ball. So, sim the play, and we got the Denver Nuggets here. Sorry, let me just put on my fucking sunglasses to see who we're playing. It's a very evenly kind of stacked team. Obviously, Dame, best player on this team. But, yeah, they're a very good squad. I would rather not lose in the first round after winning 66 games. We're up 3-1 here. 3-2. Can we close them out in 6? We do. Moving on to the Golden State Warriors. DeJounte Murray, Donovan Mitchell, Franz. Oh, wow. Okay. That backcourt kind of scares me a lot. We're not doing this. Oh, come on. We just got fucking swept? Oh, you're not doing this to me, 2K, today. Who sucked in round 2? Who sucked? I want to see it. I know, because you're getting traded, whoever was fucking ass. KPJ stepped up. Chet, Michael Porter Jr., you're getting $172 million. Oh, that's fucking terrible. Chet, you kind of sucked, but you're a rookie, so it's a little okay. Lonzo, you weren't great. Oh, my God. This bench was just, Herbert Jones, what are we doing here? What are we doing, right? It's not, wow. That's not the way I wanted to go out. The 76ers, John Moran, another guy I would have loved to have had. Win the finals. God, that team wins 66 games, and then we got our dicks kicked in round 2. Sorry about the random cut that just happened right there. My audio, I think I was maybe yelling a little too loud. I don't really know what to say. My mic level spiked up and stayed up, so I cut it, and now hopefully it's back to normal. I tested a little bit. Yeah, I think it was right when I was kind of yelling about Herbert Jones' playoff stat line. Sorry about that. We are here in the offseason now. Draft lottery time. I'm sorry for that. I don't know what happened. The top 5 is the Clippers, the New York Knicks, the Phoenix Suns, the Miami Heat, and the Brooklyn Nets. That was crazy. I've definitely yelled before, probably honestly louder than that. And my mic, it definitely didn't blow out because I tested it. It sounds normal, but God, that's just weird. Did we trade our first round pick this year? We did. So we're not going to be probably drafting anybody. I'm going to bring all these guys back. Collins is definitely going to have to get traded. Herbert Jones can stay, even though he had a pretty abysmal second round of the playoffs. Garland and obviously KPJ are 2 guys that I would definitely like back on this team. And we're going into the final season, so I'm honestly just going to give them both their qualifying offers. It doesn't really change anything. Jalen McDaniels is somebody I'm going to have to probably do a sign-in trade with, as unfortunate as it is, just because he's currently 25. By the end of this video, he would be 26. So he's going to be gone. We're going to go ahead and bring these guys back with Garland and KPJ, and then we'll find a trade with McDaniels. I believe we're also going to have to trade Lonzo Ball. Everybody who's 25 right now will obviously be 26 by this point next season. So they can't be on this team. So Michael Porter Jr., Lonzo Ball, Zach Collins, Jalen McDaniels, all guys that have to be traded. And that's 2 starters right there. So that really does definitely hurt. Let's make some more trades. We're going to make this move here with the Philadelphia 76ers. It kind of sucks giving up Herbert Jones, but I kind of do have to give something to get something. Josh Giddey, only 20 years old, had a really solid second season last year. It's not the best trade in the world. Obviously, he's not a star or anything yet, but he's very serviceable enough to have in this backcourt. Definitely provides some size there at 6'8" at that shooting guard spot. So that's our trade for a new shooting guard. We definitely need to make a trade for a new small forward now. Holy shit, I cannot believe that went through. All right, we just got Tyler Hero, and you might be sitting here saying, what on earth are you doing trading for a shooting guard? And honestly, I exhausted all options looking for small forwards. There were none that were even possible. So you might be saying, yeah, I'm going to be playing guard at the small forward spot. So probably not my smartest move. We're definitely going to probably lack a little bit of defense with this starting 5, but we just got to outscore everybody, and I think we'll be hopefully in a good spot. We're also still going to trade McDaniels and Collins. This honestly, it was a lot harder of a challenge than I kind of thought it was going to be. So McDaniels is going to have to go now. I need backup big men, basically, is kind of the name of the game right now. Trey Murphy, beautiful option there for me. At the backup power forward spot, now Zach Collins is going to have to go, preferably for a backup center that's relatively young. Hopefully somebody that's good enough to maybe get some minutes for me, like Isaiah Roby, but he, at this point next year, he'll be 26. God, it sucks because Isaiah Jackson, but I have to give up Trey Murphy. Is there any way I can? Yeah, it's not going to happen, is it? Son of a bitch. All right. Damn. Devin Vassell, though, I don't want to give up Trey Murphy. Marquise Chris, Killian Hayes, Would I take Killian Hayes as a backup point guard option right now? Oh, no, I have KPJ. But maybe, actually, I could probably just move KPJ to the backup shooting guard spot. All right, we'll take Killian Hayes, who's young enough, has somehow progressed enough. KPJ is 6'4". How tall is Killian Hayes? He's 6'5". And I'd rather play KPJ at the shooting guard spot. So he'll be the backup there. Other than that, let's see the way this team is built right now. Fournier is definitely going to have to get traded for either a backup center or a backup small forward. And then I'll probably have to try to find somebody who's, kind of I could sign that's obviously within the parameters of how this works. We have 5 fucking trade offers. I'll take the picks. Maybe I'll make some sort of other trade. Oh, my God. We are oh, wait. Do we have cap space? We have actually $29 million in cap space. That kind of changes some things here. It really, not a ton because there's not really any free. Like Jordan Poole, though, could be an option for us now. All right. Other than that, obviously, we'd have to be 24 years or younger, or maybe like a Gary Trent Jr. You know what? Maybe I'll sign Gary Trent Jr. to come off the bench. Let's bring in Gary Trent Jr., only 24 years old. Now means we're probably going to, I'm actually just going to move. I want this team to be as good as possible. So we're going to move KPJ back to the backup point guard spot. I know I'm making 28,000 different trades, and I'm sorry about it. Killian Hayes and one of those first. Give me a backup center. Somebody young who's 24 or younger can be my backup center for the remainder of this video. I just need somebody. I really do. And I'm not really getting any offers for centers right now, which, how old is Herning? Oh, it's too old. We had Collins, obviously. Walker Kessler might have to be my guy, and giving up 2 first-round picks for that kind of does suck. But it's basically what we have at this point in time. So Walker Kessler, welcome to the team. It sucks, but it's kind of how it's going to have to go. Unless I can, not unless, but I'm going to maybe look for some sort of option right now with Malachi Flynn. Do I have a first-round pick remaining? It's a protection backup. So Malachi Flynn, can you get me a backup small forward that's somewhat good enough and of age? That sounds really suspicious. Patrick Baldwin Jr., you know what? I'm going to go with it. Maybe he'll progress a little bit. That is it. That's the best I could do at this point. I'll see you guys at the start of the third and final year. I can honestly say I've never had a starting 5 that has looked exactly like this. Josh Giddey, who is, a combo guard of sorts, probably more a point guard, really good playmaker, is playing small forward for us. And the reason that is because we really couldn't find a trade for another small forward. We just ran out of picks, and honestly, it kind of sucks. But that's kind of the way this goes. And this was obviously a lot harder than I kind of prepared for, but it's going to hopefully have to do. We won 66 games last year. This bench definitely got deeper, and I'm excited to see this hopefully work out. It's Darius Garland, Tyler Hero, Josh Giddey, Jaren Jackson Jr., and Chet Holmgren, the bench unit, KPJ, Gary Trent Jr., Trey Murphy, and Walker Kessler, along with Patrick Baldwin Jr. is getting some minutes. I decided why not. It's definitely a little bit of a project. Hasn't really even played at all, but I'll get 10 minutes a night. Let's just confirm everybody is 25 years old or younger in the starting rotation or along with the bench rotation as well. They are. I will see you guys at the end of the third and final season. It's a third straight season of us having to override Luka's MVP. I think we gave it a what? Donovan Mitchell year 1. We gave it a Tatum year 2. Who do I want to give it to? I feel like Trae Young honestly kind of deserves it. We're going to give it to Trae Young here. He wins a lot of MVPs. That Hawks jersey is really clean. We are the 1 seed here in the West again. That's obviously a good sign. Hoping for a championship, though. Scoot Henderson, Rookie of the Year. Andre Drummond. Giannis Antetokounmpo. Daniel Gafford. Mike Budenholzer. 65-17. My Lord, it looks like the Milwaukee Bucks. We're good. We went 58-24. I think we definitely got hurt a little bit. With our defense maybe not being that good, let's be honest with each other. So it is still a really talented team nonetheless, and I really do think we should hopefully be champions, but maybe 2K has some different thoughts this year. Pelicans, Chris Paul, Johnny Davis, Ant, Kyle Anderson, Mitchell Rob. Holy shit, that's a play-in team? I swear to God, some of these play-in teams I face when I'm like 1 or 2 seeds are like better than like some 4 or 5 seeds. It's just weird. We do win in 6, though. We're moving on here to Houston. Trae Young, MVP. I obviously just gave him it. Tyrese Maxey, Cam Reddish, Kyle Kuzma, the good old walking lesbian. Robert Williams, Jalen Smith, Marvin Bagley. Deep, deep team. Very good rotation they got going on there. We're up 2-1. We're up 3-1. And we're moving on to the West Finals to take on the 7-seeded play-in winner, Denver Nuggets. Damian Lillard, Josh Harris. Who? Josh Hart, OG Anunoby, Darius Bazley, Jarrett Allen, Duarte. Did we face this team last year? Did we lose to them? Or no, we beat them, I think. I don't know. We are in the finals here, and this is the, 65 wins? Oh, Cade and Tatum is a scary combo. I think we're better. You know what? I do. No, maybe I don't. We're 2-1 right now. We go down 3-1. We lose in 5. It's the third straight time, too, that somebody 25 or younger has won Finals MVP. And it's like legitimately like, it's just like punch me in the fucking face. Like, why don't you? So, damn it, though. I still had fun with this one, though, man. This was honestly a challenging one. Sorry. This one, it was honestly more challenging than I kind of thought it was going to be. I think we obviously made it a lot more challenging, allowing the CPU to draft my whole team for me. If I drafted my team, I probably could have maybe not had to make so many trades. Maybe could have got some guys I know would have progressed super well. Not that these guys didn't play well, obviously, but I could have maybe focused on some defensive players besides Jaren Jackson Jr., and I think that definitely maybe would have helped the team, but nonetheless, we did put together a really fun squad, and I did really enjoy this challenge. Probably one of our final challenges here of 2K22. So, yeah, that kind of wraps this one up. As always, if you guys did enjoy, leave a like down below. If you have not yet, would subscribe to the channel. It'd be greatly appreciated. Let me know some other challenges you guys do want to see down below in the comment section. Maybe if you guys want me to do, like, the other side of this. Like, I don't want to say 25 and up because that's, like, not as hard. Maybe, like, 28 or up, something like that. Let me know down below in the comment section. And, yeah, that wraps up this one. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. I love you guys. Catch you guys all in the next one.